आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते उपनिषत्सु धर्मा ते मयि सन्तु ओम Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We have been studying here Kenopaniṣat of the Samaveda, which is the 9th chapter of the Jaimini Brahman or Talavakara Brahman. And in that respect, we have thought of in detail what are Vedas, what is Samaveda, what are the Samhita, Brahman and Aranyak, and why it is called Jaimini and Talavakara Brahman. And then what is Upanishad, we have thought in detail, and that knowledge has some fitness mentioned, and every Upanishad has a specific fitness also, and that we are seeing through the Sambandha Bhashya. We saw the wording of the Mangalacharan, which is telling that a man prays for perfection, fullness of life, all-round development of his personality, but that meaning of the all-round development is that he starts feeling that there is one all-pervading, transcendent reality throughout the world. He does not see it, but he finds support in the Upanishads, the Rishis' experiences. And then he thinks if it is the all-pervading and all-powerful reality, why it is not manifested? Because I am obstructing it. So he thinks alternately that either I am obstructing or the reality is not showing favor to me. And then he says that I have to cultivate the values which are told in the Upanishads. Though I am only desirous of knowing that Atman. And then in the Shantipat we saw that 3 types of causes of Ashanti are there, called Adhyatmika, relating to oneself, body and mind, Adibhautika, relating to nature outside, other beings outside, human beings outside, and Adidaivika, meaning sudden supernatural forces. And in spite of that, the prayer is that I should be able to proceed with determination, with peace in the spiritual path. And then when we opened the Sambandha Bhashya, we saw the Bhashya is called Sambandha Bhashya because it pertains to connect our mind to the knowledge being received there by the disciple. We have to identify ourselves with the disciple. So what is inside the disciple? Acharya says that the Upanishad is about Parabrahma Vishaya. And to start that 9th chapter started, before that all the karmas were told, and the support of all the karma spiritual is the Ishvara Jnana. And that Ishvara Jnana, that means God is the doer, not I, that consciousness also was dealt with. And starting from Karmanga Sama, the meditation which is a part of gross karmas, and after that the special Sama about the Gayatri was told, and then it was ended by telling the genealogy or the Guru Parampara of that in that chapter. So that was all the effect or product. And then all this karma and this knowledge, consciousness, if rightly pursued by a desireless mumukshu, one who desires moksha only, no other desire, then it purifies his heart, purifies his personality. On the other hand, if it is done by a man with desires, and he does not possess that consciousness, but only does work prescribed by the Vedas or by the later scriptures called Smritis, without knowledge, that leads him to the southern path. And that results in his coming and going again and again. And if he does not follow the Vedas at all, follows what is propelled by his natural mind, then he has to go through animal or other lower beings. And that he quotes from Chandogya Upanishad and Aitareya Aranya. Now, take that man who has been purified and who is desireless. He does not want anything outside the self, because it is temporary, and the main thing mentioned here, the characteristics of anything outside, is that you have to do something to get something. He gets a dispassion for this tendency of the mind to do something to get something. And this he gets by his impressions due to what he has done in this life or in previous lives. And when he gets this dispassion, then only the keen desire to know the innermost reality appears in him. And that has been described through questions and answers in this Upanishad. Same thing has been told in the Katha Upanishad, that the Lord has punched holes opening outside in our body, called our Indriyas. And that is why everybody sees outside. But very rare persons, they want immortality, and so they close all their Indriyas and look inside. Same thing was told in Mundaka Upanishad, that the man examines. Examine means you should read Shankara's commentary on this mantra. It is such graphic and poetical Shankara has made, that how a man examines, that all the lokas, all the fruits of karma here will give me some experience of a different loka. And all the lokas, I am not going there. But some by direct perception, some by reasoning, some by the Vedic authorities, I see that they are effervescent. They are like foam on water. Now they are, and now they are gone. And so I do not want anything of this type. I want that which is permanent, which is my own real nature. And to know such thing, the disciple goes to Guru only. It is absolutely essential that this knowledge comes from the Guru. And the Guru is one who knows the secret of scriptures and is rooted in Brahman. Such a man with such a dispassion, who does not want anything by doing something, he only becomes fit to deal with the innermost reality through his own experience. He becomes fit to hear about it, to think rationally about it so that it becomes firm in his mind, and he becomes fit for experiencing it, realizing it. Otherwise, such a fitness cannot come. And when he gets this, the innermost reality as the universal reality, when he experiences such, then the very root of this transmigration, which is wrong knowledge, which generates desires, and which makes us do karma, the cause of all this is rooted out without any trace. This is what has been told in the Ishopanishad, Tatra ko moha kashoka ekatmanupashyata. When a man sees only oneness, then there is no chance of either delusion or sorrow, misery. Chandogya also has said that one who knows oneself crosses the sorrow. And especially the Mukya Upanishad says we can deal a little more of this last mantra. Mukya Upanishad is telling Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Chidyante Sarva Samshaya Hiyante Chasya Karmani Tasmin Drishte Paravare Ityadi Shrutibhyascha. That means through the Mukya Upanishad. Now let us think of this. Hridaya Granthi Vidyate. So there is a knot in our heart. Knot means complexities. Knot means something we are not able to be free from. And such a knot only is wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge binds the consciousness with matter. That is the knot. Consciousness which cannot be related to matter, but the wrong knowledge makes them bound to each other. And that can go away, that will go away, only when we realize Paravare Brahman. This word Paravare has two meanings, both are necessary. One is that we should get it through a tradition of Guru teaching his disciple. It never comes without a tradition. It does not come by studying yourself. And the other meaning of Paravare is equally important. And that is when one realizes both the Supreme Brahman and the lower Brahman. Lower, that means the transcendent aspect of the reality and the immanent or all-pervading aspect of the reality. When this is known through experience, then only that knot goes away. Don't think wrongly that only realizing the transcendent Brahman it will go away. And only immanent Brahman is not going to give you anything. So when the Brahman which is transcendent immanent is fully realized, then this ignorance, not goes away, is cut asunder. Vidyante, cut asunder. Then Chidyante sarva samshaya. Not as these doubts. Because our mind is on a lower level. And on this level of ours, we cannot rationally understand anything. And the mind is essentially filled with doubts. And as we read the scriptures, as we get the general guidance from the Guru, 50% of the doubts will go away. 50% will not go away immediately. But when we start doing sadhana, when we start rising up in our consciousness, then gradually the doubts become less and less and less. And the doubts will fully go away only when we realize the Paravara reality. Only when we are traditionally realize the reality. So, Chidyante sarva samshaya. All the doubts will be removed. Then, Khiyante chasya karmani. Karmas depend upon I am the doer consciousness. I am the doer, I am the experiencer. This ignorance is the cause of my doing something already explained. And so, only here also, only when the Paravara Brahman is known, only when we know that the same Brahman which is transcendent is all-pervading. Same Brahman is the doer and not the doer. When this knowledge is absorbed or experienced, then no chance of the karma. Karmas are always sticking to that I am the doer consciousness. So that being destroyed, the karmas have no existence in his life. All this happens by realizing Brahman through tradition, realizing transcendent immanent reality. Up to that, we had read on the last occasion, we revised ourselves. Now, some doubts come in us, not in the disciple to Kenopaniṣat. His position will be clear and clear by removing our doubts. So Shankar mentions our doubts. Karma sahitadapi jnanad etat siddhati iti chet. Iti chet means, can we not think like this? That this can happen by knowledge along with karma. Now, what is the genesis of this doubt, this question? Is that definitely the sadhak has not understood the real meaning of knowledge or karma. If he had known the real meaning of knowledge, as explained in the Shankar Bhashya, he would never have asked to combine that knowledge with karma. So knowledge for this man is only information, or at the most some intellectual conviction, but not experience or reality. So the very idea of knowledge is wrong here. Then only this question is coming. And perhaps he does not know that karma means I am the doer. If you would have known that karma means I am the doer and knowledge means I am not the doer, then he would not have asked for combination. But he has asked. That such doubt comes to the sadhak because of his ordinary consciousness. And so, Shankaracharya as the Guru will remove all our doubts and make us attune to the disciple of the Kenopaniṣad. So, he says, no, your thinking is wrong. Vajasaneyake tasya anya karanatva vachanat. Vajasaneke may not be necessary here, but we have thought last time. Vajasani is the name of the Surya. If you still go analyze, Vaja means annam, food. And it is the sun shining that gives us food. If the sun does not shine, we cannot get food. So, sun is called Vajasani, and because the great sage Yajnavalkya got his all knowledge by worshipping the sun, that is called the Vajasaneyaka Upanishad. So, Shankaracharya refers to Vajasaneyaka Upanishad and says, Tasya means karmasya, karma sahitadapi jnanat, so tasya means karmasya. Anya karanatva vachanat, karma becomes the cause of something else, not Brahmajnana. So karma becomes the cause of something else. Why do you combine it when you want knowledge? How it refers to something else? Jaya me syat iti prastutya. He picks up a portion from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and says, it starts by telling, I want a wife. And then it proceeds, but I have a putrena ayam loko jayo. I want wife, because if I get a son, then my life in this world will be happy. Nanena karmana. For that I do not require to do anything. If a wife and a son I get, then my life in this world will be all right. And if I do work, then Pitruloko, I will go to forefathers' world, which Shankara has already referred to by Dakshina Marga. Vidya Devaloka, if I get knowledge real of the different gods and goddesses, or even the ultimate prana, then I will go to those spheres of those gods, or even up to Brahmaloka. So these are the results of karma. Iti atmana annasya lokatrayasya karanatam uktam vajasaneyake. Atmana annasya means other than one's own reality, something else. The three worlds cause is told to be karma in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And there itself, tatraivacha parivrajya vidhane heturukta. The sannyasi means he does not stay in any house. No house belongs to him. He just walks away. That is parivrajya. That is sannyas. Now, when it has talked about the need to do parivrajya, what is the cause of that parivrajya? The feeling or the knowledge comes in him. Kim prajaya karishyamo yesham no ayam atma ayam loka. Loka is the result of what you see after you do particular karmas, how the mind becomes, and what you experience there is called lokas. So in that very local language, he says, for us, when Atma alone is the result we want, we do not want to go to any loka. So Atma ayam lokaha. This Atman itself is the result which we want. For such of us, what shall we do with this praja, my sons and daughters? So, son I want to get because I want to enjoy this world. And then do karma and meditation and then go to some loka. But when the knowledge comes that I want only the realization of myself, then what shall I do with this son or wealth or some divine knowledge? Tatra ayam hetvartha. This becomes the hetu of that vairagya. So, this is the implication of that hetu. Praja karma tatsanyukta vidyabhir. Praja karma tatsanyukta vidyabhir. Manushya pitru devaloka traya sadhanaihi. So, praja means progeny, son, karma, and the vidya associated with that, meditation or upasana, worship, associated with that, some gods and goddesses knowledge associated with that. By these three, he can win Manusya Loka, Pitru Loka, Devaloka. It is the Lokatraya Sadhanaihi. These are the means of these three worlds. Anatma Loka Pratipatti Karanaihi. They give me the mastery, Pratipatti, over Anatma Loka, not my real nature, such lokas. Anityam, these are always temporary. Sadhana sadhyam ishtam. Loka pratipatti karane kim karishyama. What shall I do? Nacha asmakam, for us, plural, lokatrayam anityam sadhana sadhyam ishtam. So, Shankara has brought that idea again, that the means of lokatraya, which are to do something to get something, that we do not want. We want that something which is permanent, our own real nature, not something obtained by doing something. Ishtam. So, this sadhya sadhana is not desired by us. Yesham asmakam, for those like us, Swabhavika, natural, aja, unborn, ajara, one does not undergo old age, amruto does not die, abhayo, where there is no scope of any fear or any imperfection. Navardate karmana no kaniyan. By karma, it does not grow. By karma, it does not get reduced. Bad karma, good karma has no effect there, because it is permanent. Nityascha, and it is eternal, permanent, unchanging, loka ishtaha. That result we want. Such a nityatvat, because it is permanent, because it is eternal, na avidya nivrutti vyatirekena anya sadhana nishpadya. You see, by doing something we get something temporary. We want to get something permanent. So we will not get something by doing something. Then how we shall get? We have wrong knowledge. And removal of that wrong knowledge will give us, because that is our nature. No other means are applicable to the result which we want, because it is eternal, our own real nature. So other than the removal of the wrong knowledge of doership, other than that we do not require anything. Please remember, these are important points. Anya sadhana nishpadya. Na nishpadya. It is not to be obtained by any other means. Tasmat pratyagatma brahma vijnana purvaka. So, if we get the experience that my innermost self itself is the all-pervading reality, sarvaishana sannyasa eva kartavya iti. So here the jnani sannyas is told, like Yajnavalkya, that if I get the experiential knowledge that my Atman is the Brahman, then all desires renounced. That is the real sannyas. Real sannyas means sarva eshana sannyas. Giving up all desires is the real sannyas. And that is the only thing which I do. Now here, two states of mind are described. This knowledge which is talked about may come as realization final, or may come as a glimpse, feeling, and I continue my sadhana, what is technically called jnana nishtha. So even if I become jnana nishtha, I do not want anything else. I want only my real nature, and I am having some experience of it also. So what I want is to perfect that experience, to remove my trace of ignorance. That is the only thing which I want to do. So, Vividisha sannyas and Vidvat sannyas both are mentioned in this. Either I have got full knowledge or I have got the desire, as it was told previously, that desire to seek that knowledge. One reason of karma not to be combined with knowledge. Then one more reason Acharya gives. Karma sahabhavitva virodhacha pratyagatma brahma vijnanasya. Vijnan, both glimpse and final realization of the innermost self being the all-pervading reality. This cannot be combined with karma, which means I am the doer. So those two things you are asking to be combined, the real knowledge you do not know. So the real knowledge can never be combined with the doership. How? Shankara explains. He tells in one sentence and then explains. Nai upatta karaka phala bheda vijnanena karmana. So, with karma which is upatta, that means automatically it implies karaka phala bheda vijnan, that factors of karma and the result of karma, different things, is in the experience of the man who is getting that, who is doing that karma. Karmana, that is karmana. Upatta karaka phala bheda vijnanena karmana. Karma which implies this. Pratyasthamita sarva veda darshanasya, where all differences are wiped out. That vision, which is pratyagatma brahma vishayasya, that is only the consciousness that the innermost reality is Brahman. Sahabhavitvam, the two coexisting, na sabhavitvam upapadyate. So their staying together is not rational. Vastu pradhanya sati apurusha tantratvat brahma vijnanasya. We have to slowly understand this. Apurusha tantratvat. Purusha means the sadhak. Now, when I do karma, then I get something. If I do not do that karma, I am not going to get it. So, the karma phala is under my doing. Purusha tantra depends upon me, the doer. And knowledge does not depend upon me. Knowledge is knowledge of the reality. Whether I realized it or not realized it, knowledge of the reality is the same. It does not depend upon my getting it also. And there is nothing called my getting, only removal of ignorance, wrong knowledge. It is my real nature. So, that is the important point here. Pratyekatma Brahma Vishesya Sahabhavitum Upapadyate, because Vastu Pradhanya Sati, Vastu Pradhanya, the Brahma Vijnan depends upon the nature of the thing. Now, let us compare certain things. People who are devoted to physical sciences, they say that you should be objective. You should not be subjective. Now they are harboring under the illusion that the world is objective. That itself is a subjective thought. So in Vedanta we do not use the word Vishaya, Vastu, the reality. So knowledge of the reality depends upon the nature of the reality. Not an I or you getting it. That is subjective. So not subjective is all right, but don't call it objective. Call it according to the nature of the reality. So that knowledge depends upon the nature of the reality. Vastu pradhanya. The main thing there is the nature of the reality. Sati apurusha tantratvat. So it does not depend upon the sadhaks doing something. Brahma Vijnanasya. So the experiential knowledge of Brahman is like that. There the Vastu is Pradhan. The nature of the reality is the main thing there. It does not depend upon your doing something. Tasmad drishta adrishtebhyo. So, known fruits or unknown fruits means sarga. Bhaya sadhana sadhyabhyo viraktasya. So that thing is getting repeated again and again. External something means something to be obtained by doing something. And one has become dispassion for that. Pratyekatma Vishaya Brahma Jigyasa Yam. Yam means he is trying to connect it now by the question of the sadhak, the first mantra. Yam Jigyasa, that which has been asked in the first mantra, is from a person who has got dispassion about getting something by doing something. Both the known objects and sarga objects. So, he has dispassion. Even sarga is obtained by doing some punya karma. So, the main important point he has brought back. Dispassion about this attitude that I will get something by doing something. He has got dispassion about that. And his question is this first mantra. Keneshitam ityadi shrutya pradarshate. So the Shruti, this Kenopaniṣat, is showing the mind of such a questioner. So the whole effort is to connect our mind to the questioner's mind. Unless we have felt the questioner's mind, identified with the questioner's mind, we cannot understand what the Guru is telling. When the Guru tells something, we shall see that ordinary man will not understand what is meaning, but he is telling that to that disciple. So you must identify with the mind of the disciple. शिष्याचार्य प्रश्न प्रतिवचन रूपेण कथनम तो सूक्ष्म वस्तु विषयत्वात् सुख प्रतिपत्ति कारणम भवति. Now why it is put in question and answer form? We had thought one day that all Upanishads are of the question and answer form. So why it is like that? Because the reality is sukshma. The reality is beyond sense perception. So if, let us think of this, if it is under sense perception, we can have reason for that. But if it is beyond sense perception, only through conversation with the Guru it will come to us. Guru's knowledge has to be transmitted to us through question. Remember in the Gita, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Tattvadarshi jnanis will give you that knowledge if you do salutation to them is all right. But pariprashna, questions from all sides. So, when it is put in question and answer form, sukha pratipatti karanam bhavati. Sukha means always here easy, natural. So it becomes easier or natural to get the answers when it is in the question answer form. Kevala tarka agamyatvam cha darshitam bhavati. And it shows that only reason will not get you there. Only reason will not get you there. Only by questioning the Guru you will get it. My Guruji used to tell me about whom I was talking, not clear. He also comes and stands. What shall I talk with him? You have thousands of questions in your mind, so I talk with you. I used to think I am not asking him thousands of questions, but he could see. I was always putting questions, that is true. And he has seen thousands of questions in my mind, so I talk to you. That person, another Swami, senior to me, he also comes and stands. What shall I talk with him? So that is the thing. In Chandogya Upanishad, Aruni has squarely put it on Shvetaketu that you have not asked that question, why shall they tell you? He came back after learning for 12 years from different gurus. And yet, Aruni saw that he has come like a modern man, educated man. I know everything. I do not want to, not necessary to learn like that unbending personality. So Aruni told him, why you are like that? When I came back by learning, I was not like that. It is because you have never asked them that knowledge, by knowing which all the unknown things also become known. He could not fathom it. And then Aruni had to give examples. If you know the nature of clay, you know everything made of clay, etc. So, that is the only by reasoning you can never attain that knowledge. Because reasoning works only on the Indriya Anubhavas. And because it is beyond Indriya Anubhavas, it has to come from the man of realization. That is also shown by the Shruti. How it is shown? Naishat tarkena matirapaneya. Kena Upanishad straight says, by reasoning, this wisdom will not come. Iti shrutescha acharyavan purusho veda. Chandogya Upanishad says that a man who has got guru, he only gets knowledge. Acharyadhi eva vidya vidita sadhishtam prapaditi. These are the prasangas in Chandogya Upanishad. That second thing is from fourth adhyaya. Who was that? Satyakam Jawar. He went to the Guru, Guru accepted him and gave him 400 cows which were sick and disabled. And he said, you serve them. And while serving them, he heard from a bull that we have become 1,000, you take us back. And on the way, this impersonal deities taught him everything. So when he came back, the Guru said, your face is shining. Who has taught you? They said, this some other people have taught me. But unless you tell me, it will have no meaning. There is sentence, Acharyadi eva vidya vidita sadhishtam prapi. Sadhishtam means that ultimate thing which I want. That comes only when Acharya teaches. And this sixth chapter is Arunishvatakita. That while giving examples, Arun is telling Shataketu that if you get an Acharya, then only you will know it. And he has given a story there. That robbers came, they blindfolded that man, tied everywhere hands and feet, and carried him to a forest and left him there. No shouting, somebody to save me. Then they went away. Then some kind man came and released his eye bindings and hands and feet and told him, I want to go to my house in Gandhar. You go such and such way, then you will reach Gandhar. Now, because he had got somebody to direct him, he could reach, otherwise he could not have reached. That is the Chandogya Upanishad story. And this is the Satyakam Jawar story. Tadvidhi pranipatena, just now we referred to that. In the Gita it is said that you go there, salute them, honor them and ask questions and serve them, then you get knowledge. So Shankar is very clear that reason cannot do anything. It is only discipleship, serving the Acharya, going down to him, asking him questions. That is the only way to get knowledge. And he has shown this through scriptures. Ityadi shruti smriti niyamacha. Cha means also we are told that the question and answer found the best suited. And he is telling also, this is the rule we see in Vedas and the secondary scriptures also. Gita is referring as Smriti here. Shruti Smriti Niyamacha Kashit Gurum Brahmanishtam. So some Guru who is rooted in Brahman, Vidivad Upetya, and one goes to him with due honor. Pratyagatma Vishayad Anyatra Sharanam Apashyan. The sadhak here is being described. First mantra sadhak. He wants the innermost reality. Pratyekatma Vishayada. That means he wants knowledge about knowledge. Knowledge is included here. Knowledge, because it has been given in the previous sentences. So knowledge which comes from the Guru, etc. is given. So the knowledge about the innermost self, other than that, I have no resort. Sharanam, apashyan. And he wants fearlessness, permanent, absolutely auspicious, unchanging reality. He asked, that is how we should imagine about the sadhak. So Shankar has tried his best to connect us with the mind of the sadhak. Now the remaining thing he will do through the question itself. So now imagine all these things and read the first mantra. Then we understand what the sadhak is telling. And then we will understand what the Guru is telling. So that is the Vedantic method. Om Kene Shitam Patati Praishitam Manaha Kena Pranaha Prathama Praiti Yuktaha Kene Shitam Vachamimam Vadanti Chakshu Shrotram Kau Devo Yunakti. Let us go word by word and find out the Shishya's mind. What is he feeling? What is his already some knowledge in him? And that is why asking for the further knowledge. Kena, by whose? Ishitam. Ishitam is the Vedic form. Normal Sanskrit form would have been Ishtam. Desired by whom? Preshitam. As if directed. Desired by whom? As if directed. Mana patati. The mind goes to its object. We shall try to understand. Let us have the word meaning first. That desired by whom, as if directed, the mind goes. By whom? Kena Yuktaha Prathama Prana Praiti. Who has joined? Yukta means like the bullocks being yoked to the chariot, cart. So who has who has joined my Prathama Prana Praiti. Prathama Prana means Prana is the name of all Indriyas also. Prana is the name of the nose function also. But Prathama Prana means the fundamental action for living. That is first Prana. If we breathe, if we live, then all other things will function. So this first desire to live. Who has yoked that prana to do this thing? Meaning is that, let us think of the meaning a little here. I have not done that. That is what the sadhak clearly understands. I have not told my mind, I have not directed my mind, I have not desired that my mind should go. And even then the mind goes. I have not desired that I should live, but I live. One funny incident. In Chandigarh, I was with factory workers. And I put them the question, why do we live? And they tried their own answers. They could not answer it correctly. So I said, I will tell you the answer. Why we live? Because we are not dead, so we live. They were surprised and tried to understand that answer. And finally came to conclusion, yes, what you are telling is correct. Why do we live? Because we are not dead, so we live. So we do not desire to live and enjoy. That is automatic. So basically, why do we live? Only because we are not dead. So that is the question here. Who has yoked my prana to live? That means I have not yoked it. I have not asked my prana to function. Do I will to breathe? Keneshitam vacham imam vadanti. Vacham means vani and the vocal indriya, and because it talks in so many ways, it is used in plural. Vacham, imam, vadanti. Why does my vani speak? I think I shall speak. You see people, they go on talking. Why you ask them? They will not be able to reply. Only the other day I told one of my Swamis. So, this sadhak is so deep in his analysis, he knows that it is not his will, his direction, that mouth should speak. But he finds mouth is speaking. And side by side in all these things, another thing is that he has understood that they are all material. If they are consciousness, they could have done action by themselves. But one side is that they are all material. Second side is that I have not directed them. So, who is that? Chakshu Shrotram Kau Devo Yunakti. Half answer is here itself. Deva. There is some consciousness in me which is doing all this. But I do not know the nature of that consciousness. I do not know how that consciousness directs. Chakshu Shrotram, the organs of perception. Vak is organ of action, representing all organs of action. Chakshu Shrotram, representative of organ of knowledge, all organs of knowledge. Yunakti. Yunakti means joins. Which consciousness joins my Shrotrindriya and Chakshu Indriya. So we understood what the sadhak feels. Sadhak feels there is something called I, and that I is not directing any of these things. He understands that indriyas, mind, prana, they are all physical. So they cannot move by themselves. He understands that there is some conscious being, I do not know its nature, who is directing all this. And just he desires and they become directed. So we have to feel identified with this mind. He is quite an advanced sadhaka. Because the normal people will not understand that they are not conscious. They are doing themselves. Or, I desire this, I desire that. But he already is sadhya sadhanad viraktasya. Why all these things you are told is clear here. He is a advanced sadhaka. Kenopaniṣad is not for beginners. Kenopaniṣads are we have to get identified with this sadhak. So the adhikari, first adhikari, we shall find later on different adhikaris also in this Upanishad. But the first adhikari who is asking this question has advanced already. Introspection, analysis and vairagya is very clear in him. And it seems there is an element of devotion also in him. He is calling him Deva. The Chetan, the conscious God, the conscious principle. God, you may say. They feel, is God sitting in me and doing all these things? So this is the sadhak. We shall fully analyze this with the help of Shankar Bhashya on the next Wednesday. Om apyayantu mamangani vakpranashchakshushrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot anirakaranamastu anirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharma te mayi santu om shanti 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 Hare Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.